My absolute favorite thing about this team is how it ramps up pretty significantly in damage quite fast. So the idea with this is we're going to short field time Kirara a little bit. Let's see what we can get. Let's get it. Can we get a spread the trigger? Crit? There we go. 20k and then 50k and then blam! 215,000. Oh, look, we have a cat. And now she's in a hat. Of course, Kirara is on banner right now. And she's got her free skin and a free copy of her through the event, just in case you didn't know already. And I really, really like this character. This is one of the characters that, especially as far as DPSing 4-stars go, I really, really enjoy playing her for damage. I don't care for shielders in this game that much at all. But her shielding, when you DPS her, is actually pretty valuable as far as like providing her some extra tankiness and interruption resistance and whatever. I also got C6 Kirara on this current banner, which is cool. C4 Kirara is relevant for making her like a better quicken support. I actually quite like that a lot, and we will be utilizing that today. And then C6 just gives her a team-wide elemental damage bonus buff, and that also, of course, buffs herself. And preview. If you want to see a DPS Kirara video I made in the past that has more of a silly focus where it just like, this was like the silliest part of her kit and that I enjoyed, and this was the original reason for me DPSing her was she was a Dendro unit, she can trigger spread, and you can just run around and smack enemies in catbox form. We're going to be doing a little bit of catbox smack today, but instead we are going to be focusing on the fact that, you know, I got C5 Kiwawa, and that increases her burst levels, which takes her burst all the way to a 1211% multiplier when you crown it, at least. And when you have big multipliers and characters, that means even when you're not triggering, you know, scaling reactions like Vaporize, you can get some pretty big damage numbers from them. And so, since my previous video focused more on a skill damage Kirara, I'm going to focus more on a burst damage Kirara this video, which does mean we are using Bennett because big attack multiplier, attack buffing character, and also a healer. Yep, next. There's this weapon. I actually have Kirara's signature weapon, and you might be like, what do you mean? This is not Kirara's. Yes, it is. You're wrong. Why? Because that gives her skill damage bonus. Max 3 stacks times 8% is 24% skill damage bonus, and also buffs her HP up to 22%. And you might say, oh, this isn't HP scaling damage, Dumbo. Except it actually is. Well, it's not HP scaling, but it's HP bonus. Every 1,000 HP she has, she gets damage bonus on her skill and her burst. So, technically, all parts of this weapon benefit the cat. It does, of course, necessitate using Farina with her, so we're using Farina. And then for the last slot, I'm going to use Raiden. And the reason I use Raiden is for a lot of reasons for me. I think you can use kind of any Electro unit here. The idea is, one, I want to take advantage of Kirara C4 giving some off-field Dendro. That means she's a better quicken enabler. So I do think you can kind of use any, I'd say any kind of like middling field time Electro DPS unit. Like I think Chloran would work. I do think heck, Sethos might work. I could probably use my Yai here, right? I think a lot of different Electro characters would work in this last slot. Raiden gives some energy refunding and burst damage bonus, and I have a special build for Raiden that makes her uniquely the best in this team. I just wish to mention, you know, you can absolutely use the likes of Kaching, right? Like, I don't think it would prevent this team from functioning at all. Also, by the way, literally earlier this morning, I did a single pull with the Battle Pass wish and got an early, well, it was at like 60 pity, so slightly early. I got an early C6 Kaching. Kaching is my first standard banner character that's C6. So, I don't know, let me know in the comments if you want to see me do something with C6 Kaching. Anyways, we're going to be using Raiden. Her skill level 8 gives some burst damage bonus, and if we do the math quick, so 0.29 times whatever Kirara's burst cost is, which I believe is 60? Yeah, it's 60. Which means we're getting about a 17% damage bonus from Raiden for Kirara's burst. And is that a lot? No, but is it something? Yep. More notably, I do think this Kirara build does not have enough energy for her to burst consistently. So Raiden's energy refunding is actually relevant here. And you might say, well, wait, why would you burst on Raiden in a Dendro team? Well, it's because I am using my really goofy hybrid Raiden build with EM main stat, crit, and circlet on Emblem. And using Staff of Scarlet Sands, Raiden will get good talent damage and good transmitter reaction damage. If you wanted to use Raiden in this team in the same way, you can probably just put her on like a full EM 4-piece Deepwood build. And the reason you'd be doing Deepwood instead of Gilded Dreams or whatever is because you do want someone on Deepwood if you want to get maximum cat damage. You might be asking, who am I putting on Deepwood if I'm not putting Raiden on Deepwood? Well, it's not Bennett. I'm going to put Farina on Deepwood because that's how I roll. I want to emphasize I do not recommend Farina on Deepwood, but I also am doing it, and it's definitely not the first time I've done it. I also really don't have great artifacts for a Deepwood build on Freenet. Like, ideally, I would have a nice, like, HP double crit piece. So yeah, I'm gonna just put an ER type piece on her. This means my Farina's build is gonna be a little bit underpowered. Alright, what is it looking like? Okay, well, this is definitely a Farina build of all time. But you know what? She's gonna get her energy back consistently. I could probably put her on a non-fab weapon, but I have C2 Farina. It's gonna power her up a little bit. Like, at the very least, you know, hopefully my lower damage Farina will like balance out the team's DPS to be slightly more relatable. I'm looking forward to how much damage I'll get from Kirara. It should be significantly more than Raiden. Bennett's build, I think I'm just gonna leave him on 4-piece Noblesse because maximum gap damage go. You probably should do Bennett with a non-C2 Farina on a 4-piece Maiden's build. I recommend it. And even honestly with C2 Farina, it's kind of nice to have a Maiden's build on Bennett with Farina because it will keep your team alive more. My hope is that the keeping my team alive aspect will be unnecessary since we have, you know, shielding and a little bit of healing. The goal today is just to be silly, getting big ol' cat damage. That's all. My absolute favorite thing about this team is how it ramps up pretty significantly in damage quite fast. So the idea with this is we're going to short field time Kirara a little bit. Let's see what we can get. Can we get a spread the trigger? Crit? There we go. 20k and then 50k and then blam! 215,000. And notably, you probably didn't notice it, but like especially on like big hitbox enemies or enemies that are moving around, Kirara spawns a whole bunch of like balls around that they have a, what is it, 75% multiplier here at level 13. Those deal a bunch of damage too. And yeah, so she can do like 300,000 damage in her burst, which is just fantastic. I love it. And of course, if we're fighting enemies that, you know, actually live, then the idea is to, you know, switch to Raiden after we Kirara burst and then do a big Raiden burst and get some damage out of Raiden. Right, and that's again taking advantage of Kirara C4, giving us some off-field Dender to keep up Quicken, keep up Aggravates, and then of course Kirara C6 will give damage bonus to Raiden as well, which is cool. So this is a super fun team to play. I honestly think this probably takes Kirara to being, you know, quite strong to build as DPS in this way. But I do want to emphasize it's a very silly high investment thing to do, right? Oh, I don't think I even mentioned it before. In case it's not obvious, we're using a Marshase build on Kirara, so here's the overall artifacts. They're definitely very good Marshase artifacts. This I just got a couple weeks ago. I'm very happy about that. Alright, as normal, we're going to fight the local legends here and probably be in pain. Okay, No, immediately a butthole. No, don't you dare kill my bandit. Alright, maybe the shielding will help us. Alright, and let's do that, and blam! Nice. And then we switch to Raiden, and blam! Nice 150k Raiden. And of course she's getting her bloom damage. We're out of the circle, but you know what? Half his health is gone in a single rotation. That's fantastic. And we'll switch to you. This is a pretty swap-heavy team, so Bennett should be actually a pretty decent, especially with Maidens, right? Which he's not on right now. But Bennett should be... Oh, I didn't even mean to do that right away, but it's fine. Blam! I didn't see the number. I can't see anything. And, 150k, nice. And you're dead. We just rotated a local legend with this team. Like, is Kirara doing all the damage to the team? No. But in my opinion, any of the best teams in Genshin that feel the best in the most situations don't deal damage entirely through one character. I'm so happy that she gets over 200,000 damage. It's intensely funny to me that she gets more damage than Raiden. Alright, so we tested against Liam. Now, Rocky's a little bit more slightly one-shotty. They are each annoying in their own ways. But, we'll blam. Alright, let's see. I want to see a 20k. I want to see the ramp up. Alright, 20k, 50k, and blam! I didn't crit! I'm mad about that. I'm kind of mad about that. Alright. And then we are not... Oh, okay. Get some energy quick, and then do that. And then... Oh, I did this a little bit wrong, but hey, 215k. Wait. Can you cease your buttholery? Oh. Okay. I don't know why I decided to... Okay. Oops. Well, Rocky still got me, but that's because I was dumb. This team is still definitely one of the more tanky teams that I've played in recent memory. And again, right, Kirara still generates the shields. She still has a good chunk of HP, right? She's not doing nothing shield-wise. One thing I want to show quick, I'm going to put her on Fab to get her burst back. If this was a more viable thing to do in more situations, I would gladly have made this entire video about what I'm going to show you here. So, when we cast Kirara's burst to create those little bombs around, what you can do is you can use Animo characters to group those bombs, and it is relevant in context where like you use Kazuha, but the downside is, right, whenever you're using characters to group those bombs, they're characters that are not buffing Kirara, right? That's why I'm having more fun with the other team that goes more all-in and buffing the cat. But, you know, I want to show this because it's really fun. So if we blam, you can see we got the bombs around, and if we do this, you can see we suck the things together and then they blow up. Like, as you're pulling the little bombs in, you know, they end up exploding on enemies. What is more fun with it is actually if you can use Jean to shotgun things, but you almost are never able in actual combat to do that. So if we do this, right, if we purposely don't hit an enemy with our burst, which obviously would be a big damage loss, we can go and do this. And weirdly enough, if things are shooting at you, this blocks projectiles, and then you can shotgun them, and I missed there, of course, because I was standing too far away. But they last quite a while, and then they explode after a timer if you don't actually do anything with them. So, you know, it's a very weird, interesting nuance to Kirara's kit and other characters like Klee that spawn those bombs. I think Aloy does the same thing. But, I don't know, it's just like, they almost always end up exploding like as you first do this. And it's not useless. It's a fun thing you can do. But generally speaking, it's much more valuable to just let them blow up from, you know, enemies walking into them, or just by being big enemies, they just automatically explode. I just wanted to mention it because it's fun. Not that it's something you would craft the whole team around, though. Alright, before we head to the... Oh, don't you suck me. No, okay, good. Before we head to the Abyss, I wanted to just test some of the fish apps. I like testing against these. I think they're interesting to fight. Even though, especially when, you know, we're doing really big multiplier instances here, we're gonna, like, immediately kill all of them. It's still, I think, a fun experiment to play around with. Oh, then he froze me. You can actually see kind of some of the value of Kirara's C4. Blam. And blam. Nice. Okay, yeah, they're dying too fast. One of them just lives because he just ran away. Coward. 60k. Yeah, this is not a proper situation at all. How I wish. I'm assuming if world level 9, you know, increases the enemy world level, these things will become tankier in the future, which is cool. You know, maybe I'll be able to actually test these things more properly, but yeah, this was, I don't know. It does show the team being able to output damage in different ways consistently, right? But it definitely wasn't anything of a proper example. So as always, this means we head to the Abyss. Alrighty, so I think the best approach here is gonna be killing the Doritos, ideally killing the Doritos just with Kirara, right? So let's try to get it's going good. They got grouped together a little bit, and let's do that. Nice, and blam. There we go. Okay, and hopefully get quick and going before this hits. Maybe. Oh, I don't think that actually had quick and going. Whoops. Okay, well, we're just gonna restart a rotation then. This is a really awkward chamber for most of the teams in the game. Which is, you know, yay. Thanks, Mahoy, for designing it that way. Yeah, come over here. Get hit by the thingies. Yeah, thank you. Alright, and we're just gonna walk our face into this dude. Do that. That. You're already dead. Good. Let's blow up on you. Alright. There we go. Hey, that sequence worked pretty well. This is my first run through, by the way. This team is strong enough that I don't think I'm gonna try to like get any like optimized footage or anything. Especially this chamber, you can absolutely optimize a lot of like things down. Oh my god, I barely don't have energy. Really? There we go. Blam. There we go. Okay. And blam. Like, that's not bad, especially without optimization. I love the explosion of green there. Nice, we got quicken. Alright, there we go. That's what I want. Can you, other one join me? Okay, good. Let's come here. That. There we go. Much better. Oh, don't you... Ah. Oh, you didn't hit the one. Oh, no. Yeah, that was so close to a really, really good clear, but that was still much better, so I'll include that clip as well, I think. And, of course, not having my energy up is not exactly ideal, but we should be on shortly here. This. Can we get you down without having to burst something? That would be preferable, I think. That. We can just do some pyro normal attacks with Bennett. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Just triggered some vapes on Brina there, which was not significant damage because no cold droop Brina, but it was not bad enough to get through the first phase. Ooh, don't die with that. Don't die with that. Okay. Before he teleports, we're just going to do a quick blam. Oh, we didn't crit. Okay. Yep. That's what I was worried about. Okay, Magu Kenki is a little bit of a really annoying character with Bennett, of course, so, this seems like a... For most teams, this seems like a fairly competent standard Magu Kenki, like, decent clear, dealing with his baloney. Oh, God. We're not gonna use our burst. There we go. Okay, good. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, only Bennett is... Oh, boy. Bennett. We'll get his ult back, right? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, we got it. Oh, but they're gone. Okay. Go whack on you, and then Electro. Yeah, there we go. Okay. That was all right. And probably should have never Bennetted in the first place, because, okay. Redo this here, because this is all kinds of awkward, because of my energy situation. I really wish they just restored your energy at the start, but they don't, so, is what it is. We deal with reality as it is. Alright, you are over here, so smack you with Dendro, good. Do you. I don't know, I think this boss's mechanics are just really overly time-wasty for too many teams, which is, ugh. It's fine, because blam! Yeah! Oh, I love the large hitbox enemies, they just pop the stupid things automatically. It's so satisfying. Alright, we're gonna have to deal with him going invisible once more. There. Wait, what? Why? Why? Why did you attack that, Kirara? Why? There we go. And smack and blam. Okay, and then since I mentioned earlier that I think other Electros will probably work in place of, Raiden here, I want to see how different it is with Yai here, right? The benefit of Yai is like we can spend more field time with Kirara, right? I don't know why they're burning so much. And blam, and then we could do something like a little bit of normal text there. And yeah, I mean we're still clearing pretty decently, right? I think the Raiden, but it's like a really high investment Raiden build, right? The Raiden team is, I think, more enjoyable for me, but again, this is a more approachable example of the same idea. just a slightly less, you know, synergistic. But obviously, we're still having Farina and Bennett buff. We can still get 200k there. You can still, you know, stand at Bennett's buff, get the buff for Yai. Almost killed it. There we go, right? Like, I don't think if I optimize this team down versus optimizing the Raiden team, the team performance ends up being that different, right? And let's do this. I do think we have a little bit higher energy needs on the cat in this team, though, since we're not, you know, refunding with Raiden, Blam, and we can try to just there we go. That pretty clearly shows that it's not crazily different with a different Electro. I just like Raiden as my Electro there with my weird Raiden build. I really like Kiwawa with DPS. Like DPS cat is kind of one of the most fun DPS. You know, she's intended to be, you know, or at least most people just use her and like as a she does shielding, and she can do that, right? You can use her just as a shielder. I haven't done that once before, but I DPS her a lot more, and I don't know. She's a really good mix of, you know, having satisfying access to doing damage in different ways, like with spread on her skill and with big numbers from her burst, and like she like checks all the boxes for me as far as like seeing satisfying tickle my monkey brain, green numbers flying everywhere. She can be clunky and wanting to use Deepwood on the team, but honestly, like I do think the team is probably actually stronger just not using Deepwood at all and having Farina on a higher damage build, but that's less fun, so screw that. So overall, I don't know. I highly recommend DPS Cat, especially with some constellations on her, but it definitely takes some meaningful investment. And she's still a character that can be useful as a generic supportive unit. I do kind of think her C4, like, should have been in her base kit. Like, giving her some amount of off-field dendro is the difference to her feeling, like, potentially clunky in a lot of teams or not. And yeah, I don't know. It's awesome that she got a skin, and this is one of my favorite 4-stars in the game. So I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to subscribe for more videos like this. Although if you expect to see the Kirara skin in the future, I am not going to use it because I really don't like the skin for one reason and one reason only. And I'm sorry for ruining the skin for you if it does that. But yeah, I hate it. Why? At least the default skin still exists. I like this one a lot.